Hi folks. Today what I have on the table is Demolition Derby. This is probably one of my favorite games from Plaay Games. It is a family favorite, and what I have on the table today is season 5 of my family's Demolition Derby tournament. So we've played this for 5 different years, and this year we decided to take all the best cars, or actually some of the worst cars, from our Demolition Derby tournaments over the last 4 years. We have an all-star team, and my wife is part of it. She is Donna. You will notice her cars are all in green. They're all been colored. My daughter Stephanie is Team Pink. Those are her cars here. Son-in-law Adam has come in with purple and yellow. And my cars are orange and black. So I have Jeremy Taylor, Wes Gargas, Big Buck Seaman, and Wharf Hormone. Now, some of the cards were from the set that I purchased. Some of them we made. One year we made our own cards, made up our own people. And actually the cards are all the same for this. We just moved all the columns around. So if you take a look at Big Buck Seaman, who's my guy, and Joe Dirte, you notice column 1 on Big Buck Seaman is going to be the same as column 4 on Joe Dirte. So all the cards are identical. They're just in different columns. I think I did this with Excel. We put pictures on them, and yeah. And this one here is, I think this is just a card I made up. One of my favorite guys. I'm a big Star Trek fan, so we have Wharf Hormone as one of my all-star drivers. So I'm just going to teach you how to play. We also have play mats. This is how fanatical we got. We have trophies at the end. This is my wife's play mat for Team Donna when she won she was a Redneck Rally champion from 2022. She had Donna Moats, Don Swindell, Flash Deering, Travis Baltzell. And this is my daughter's play mat. Sweet Carmen Gonzalez, Peggy Larrabee, Rudy Hospital Gurney, Twister Shout for Tato. So when we play, I usually have a couple beer and I give everybody a nickname. So if you see nicknames on there, that's what I did. So what you do is you're going to roll your dice. I've taken the 16 cars. All 4 people that are in this event have 4 cars. So you shuffle the cards and you just put them out in 4 rows of 4. You roll your dice, and I'm going to go to Jeremy Taylor, and you read the dice black and white. So Jeremy Taylor, if I can find my drivers, is over here. So when I roll a 46, you go 4 and 6. It's a car result. So for car result, you're going to go to some charts, and you're going to re-roll, and I'll just find the charts here. And for a car result, you're going to see how much damage you have. Now, Jeremy Taylor right now has no damage. So I am going to go to the car result that has no damage. I'm going to roll the dice, and I've got a 5. So no damage, and a 5 is an X. So I'm going to deliver a hit to somebody. Now, when we play, oops, I just noticed Wes didn't get erased. When we play, we choose somebody to go against. And we'll pick somebody to take out. We have standings. I should probably show you the standings from. So this is week 1 in the standings. So you can see right now, Wes Gargas. This is after race 1. Actually, we have race 2 here. So here are the standings after race 2. So Jeremy Taylor is in the lead with 26 points. Danny the Keg McCaig is got 22. John Footfungus has 22. Wes Gargas has 21. We have team points too. So I would target somebody that would be maybe after me or behind me in the standings. Or you can use a decider die, which I think was what the rules are. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I roll the dice and it's a 3. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Bobby Baldwin would get the X. Next up is Denny McCaig. So I roll for him. Denny McCaig rolls a 52. So I take a look at his card. And a 52 is ND, which is no damage. So I turn him over so he cannot be hit this particular turn. Next up, Stephanie has Bobby Baldwin is coming up. I don't know if you can see the card, but there's Bobby Baldwin, all colored in pink. And she rolls a 65. So I grab Bobby Baldwin, look up 65, which is a skid. So again, I'm going to go to the skid chart. For the skid chart, you're going to see what the rating of the driver, excuse me, rating of the driver is. And the driver for Stephanie, Bobby Baldwin, is an A. So I'm going to go skid chart. I'm going to roll 1 dice under an A. And an A number 5 is an O. Whenever you deliver an O is damage to yourself. So X is damage to somebody else. O is damage to another player. So if we just quickly take a look at the cards, for John Niederkorn, this is 2 X's and 2 internal damage. So cars will take 7 external damage and 6 internal damage. And for internal damage, you would put chips down on your driver card. So this would be a devastating one, and a black star means to the car with the most amount of damage. So if Niederkorn was in this row, you'd find the card with the most amount of damage, and they would get it. O means you give damage to yourself. Question mark is internal damage to yourself. Exclamation mark is external damage to the other car. And ND is any NDs on here? I don't see any. ND would be no damage, or that person cannot take any damage. A white star is the car with the least amount of damage. So this one, if it was a 24, you would give 2 X's and 1 internal damage to the car in that row with the least amount of damage. So we'll kind of explain it. Maybe I'll play a couple of rounds and just see. All right, so Bobby Baldwin, did we roll for Bobby Baldwin? I don't think we did. So we roll for Bobby Baldwin. It is a 13. So 1, 3 is an X and 2 internal to the person with the most. So Jeremy Taylor and Donna Moats both have nothing. So we could pick. And if I was Stephanie always picks on her dad. So she'd probably give that to me. So I would give an X and 2 internals to Jeremy Taylor. So to figure out which of these gears, you roll 2 dice, and it's a 4 and a 5. So I'd put my 4th gear is now done for the rest of the race, and so is the 5th gear. So Jeremy Taylor is in a little bit of trouble early in this Demolition Derby. Next up is Donna Moats, and Donna Moats is going to roll a 21. So if I take a look at Donna Moats' card for 21, it is an X to the guy with the most amount. And right now, Bobby Baldwin has 2 damage. Jeremy Taylor only has 1 damage, so she would get that X. So I just put it down at the bottom of the page. Now, this is not a Play Games rule, but you'll probably notice here we have some Ks. When we play, we keep track of kills, and every time you get 5 kills, you get to bump up your driver grade. So that's just a little house rule that we use when we play, but it's not part of the actual rules. Going on to column 2, we have John Niederkorn. His nickname is Foot Fungus. So Foot Fungus is going to roll a 33, and when he rolls a 33, it's going to be an X and 2 internals. Oh, sorry, an X damage and 2 damage to himself, to the car at the least. And I'll just give his now, and they all have the least, so we'll roll to see who gets it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's going to go down here to Big Bertha Meat Patty. Next up is Wes Gargas. He's going to roll. He's my guy, orange and black, a 13. So when I roll a 13 for Wes Gargas, I am going to get a 1, 3 is an X. So that's 1 damage external and 2 internal to whoever has the most amount of damage. And right now, that is Bertha Meat Patty. She's the only one with damage. So she is going to get an X, and Bertha is going to get 2 internals. So again, I roll, and it's a 1 and a 2. So I find Bertha Meat Patty's, here's her card. So I put it on a 1. So she cannot use gear 1 anymore, and she cannot use gear 2 anymore. So she gets a little bit of damage. Next up is Thomas T. Bosch. It's Thomas Boschers for Donna's team. And we roll a 45, and I believe that's going to be a skid. So we take a look at Thomas Boschers. 45 is in fact a skid. You notice skids are always going to be a white 5. Car will usually be a black 5. So it's going to be a skid. So for skid, again, we're going to check the driver rating of T. Bosch. And he is a C right now. Not sure if you can see that, but he is a C. So we're going to roll in the C chart. So a 5 on the C chart is a stall. So we're going to grab a stall card, and Thomas Boschers, we're going to put that on his card. Now, in order for him to start and move next time, he's going to have to roll the decider die, and we've put ST on 3 sides. So if he rolls the ST or if he rolls the dot, he's stalled. If he rolls the white part, he would be able to move next time. So if his turn came around and he rolled that, he doesn't get to do anything. His car is still stalled out. And the danger of that is you also have cards that you give out, strategy cards. And one of the strategy cards, I haven't given them out yet because I'm just playing by myself. There is a pick-off. So it's an automatic kill of any stalled car. So each team member, so 3 would go to Donna, 3 would go to me, 3 would go to Stephanie, and 3 would go to Adam. And you would also use your strategy cards when you're playing. Next up is Bertha Meat Patty. She is going to roll, and she rolls a 34. So we take a look at Bertha, and luckily Bertha can use her 3. So 34 is an X and an internal to the car with the least amount of damage. And it's going to be between these two. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we roll a 1. So it's going to go to Wes Gargas. So he is going to get 1 damage. And he's going to get 1 internal. So I'll roll for Wes. And he's going to put it on his 4 gear. So again, whenever you have internal damage, you put it on here. Once you get 6 of these chips, you are done like dinner and you're out of the race. Now, I also have a scoring sheet that I use, and it's at getplay.wordpress.com for our 16 drivers, and you can see we also have a point system. So Wes Gargas got 20 points, T-Bosch 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, and we work our way down. So there's also a score sheet. So if you're looking for a score sheet, there's a score sheet at my getplay.wordpress.com website. Next up, Psycho Tony Realis is up. And he's the killer. He rolls a 66. Psycho Tony, that's going to be a car result. He has no damage, so we're going to check out no damage. It is a 2. So no damage, and a 2 is going to be an X. He can give it to anybody he wants. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll roll the decider die. And 5, 6, he's going to give it to his wife, Stephanie. So Tammy Barton, Tam Tam's going to get the damage, and it goes over to Jerry Darnell. So Jerry Darnell rolls. We got a 66. That is probably going to be a car result. So we find Jerry Darnell. He's part of the Kentucky Series driver. 66 is a car result, and he is a B driver. So I'm going to check the chart for Demo Derby Smashdown and see what it says. And for a B, it is going to be a 1. So B1 is an X and an internal to anybody he wants. We'll use the decider die. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And it's going to go to 1, 2. So he's going to get an X, and I believe I said an internal. So Tony Psycho is going to get an internal Rallis on his 6. Next up is my car, Big Buck Seaman. Here comes Big Buck. He's a 42. And Big Buck Seaman, a 42, is 1X. And if I'm playing right now, right on my heels is Adam in the standings. So I'm not going to use the decider die. I'm going to go after Adam's car because that's what I would have done if I was playing by myself. Next one up is Stephanie. This is also the ranking of our drivers in the standings. We put one from each team in here. So Jeremy Taylor is first overall, and Michael Lou Rawls is last overall. So I would probably go after Rallis anyway because he's higher in the standings. Next one is Tammy Barton. And we have a 22 on Tammy Barton, and 22 is a double X and an O with an internal. So she'll take 1 damage. We got a double X and an internal coming up. And Stephanie usually goes for me. So I am going to take that double X for Big Buck. And a 3 is going to go on Big Buck Siemens card. Stephanie never goes after her mom. Sometimes goes after her husband. More likely comes after me. Probably because I had a couple beer and I start to be obnoxious. So I deserve it. Next one. It's going to be Joe Dirte coming up. Joe Dirte is one of Adam's cards. One of the fictional guys that we made up. Here's his thing. On this set, we made up names for all our guys. I actually went and I tried to find names of people, craziest names of people on driver's license. And we all picked out some names. There are some pretty crazy, dirty ones. But Joe Dirte is going to be his guy, number 51. And that is going to be, oh my gosh, it is a triple X. He is going to take 1 internal because it's a question mark. So let's just do his internal right now. Joe Dirte is going to get a 2 on there and a triple X. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's just play it out as the Saturday 1, 2, 3, 4. It's going to be a triple X going to Wharf Hormone. So he's going to my guy. Next up is Peggy Joe Socks. Here comes the roll. It is a 13 on Peggy Joe. Again, one of the homemade cards. 1, 3 is a double X with an internal, and she is going to take an internal. So I'm just going to quickly roll for Peggy Joe. She's going to get it on her 4. So I take this chip and I put it on Peggy Joe Socks' 4th gear. And then I'm going to dish out the 2 and the 1 internal. And let's just go decider die for right now for this one. And we got a 1, 2. So it's going to go to Joe Dirte. He's going to get the double. And he's going to get 1 internal for Joe Dirte. And it's on the 2. So he now has 2 on there. And one rule there is on these internals, if you have 3 in one gear, you're out of the race. So 3 in one group, you're out, or 6 in total. So 1 more 2 internal for Joe Dirte, and he is done like dinner. Next up, Wharf Hormone, my Star Trek guy. Here he comes. He rolls a 64. Let's take a look at Wharf. He is going to have an X and an O to the guy with the most. So he is going to take 1. He's now up to 4 damage. Joe Dirte is going to have to take the X. He is the guy with the most. And next is Lou Michael Rawls. So we're just going to roll for Lou Rawls. It is a 44. And Michael Rawls, 44, is no damage. So he's going to take no damage. So that is the end of turn 1. And we don't have any cars out. We have some guys in trouble. Thomas Boscher's in stall. Jeremy Taylor's got 2 internals. Joe Dirte's got 2 internals. And Wharf Hormone already has 4 damage. So what you do after the first round is you take all your cards and you simply shuffle them up. So I shuffle the cards, move them around, and then I'm going to restart all the different things and put them back down and just restart the game. And you keep going until there's just 1 card left. When there's only 1 card left, then you're in big trouble. Now, when we play with the strategy cards, we usually say, now this again is just a house rule. We say you can't use them round 1. Round 2, you can start using them. And also on the cards themselves, they have a bonus. And you can use the bonus on your turn. And that is an extra thing that you can use. Oops, I guess I got to do 4 columns. And I'm going to start round number 2 here. And first up is Thomas Boschers. So Boschers is going to roll. He rolls a 55. It's probably going to be a skid. Oh, just a sec. Thomas Boschers is stalled out. So I have to roll the stall die. Let's see what we get. He is still stalled. So he cannot use that 55. So he's still going to be stalled. And if somebody has a pick off, which they probably do, now would be a great time to pick him off and he would be out of the race. So if we take a look at the cards, the way you would play it, say if I was up next, for my turn, I'm not going to roll. I'm going to play my strategy card. So I automatically kill one of your stalled cards in the column. So Big Buck Seaman is not going to roll on his turn. He's going to play a card, and that is it. Thomas Boschers' night is over. So I would take him and write down in 16th place Thomas Boschers, and I would write down he got picked off. This is just what we do. I use a little story or write-up by Big Buck Seaman, and Big Buck gets a kill. So I would put a kill down for Big Buck. I'm not going to do it because this is not going to count towards our family all-star game. I'm just kind of showing you how to play Demolition Derby. Next up would be Donna Moats. So Donna Moats would roll. She gets a 33. So I find Donna's card. 33 is no damage. So no damage. I flip her over. And Wes Gargas is going to have to go after his own guy in Big Buck Seaman. So not looking good for me. I roll a 45, which is going to be the damage here. So Wes Gargas, his 5th year doesn't work. So go to 4. 45 is a skid. So I'm going to go to the skid chart. And I'm going to re-roll. And Wes Gargas is an A. So he's an A driver. And a roll of 4. And there's a dash, which means nothing happens. So I get off lucky rather than taking somebody else from my own guy. And I'm going to check off the bonus. Wes Gargas has extra capacity. And I forgot to do it for Big Buck Seaman. So I'm going to do it for him now also. So he is going to use that. And we move on to Peggy Jo Socks. This is Stephanie's pink car, pink Cadillac coming up. It's a sedan. 12 for Peggy Jo Socks. Again, you read the dice black and white. So Peggy Jo Socks, she is one of the homemade cards. And I roll the 12. So 1, 2 is a double X. And there's nothing on the card, so they can pick whoever they want. And she would probably go for me. She would take a shot at Warp Hormone. He now has 6 damage. 1 more and he's toast. So Peggy Jo has put Warp Hormone on the ropes, setting up a kill for Jerry Darnell. Jerry Darnell is a 15. That's probably going to be a skid, and it is a skid. So we're going to go to the skid chart. Jerry Darnell is a B driver. So a B driver, number 1 is, it's an X and an internal, and he would take me out. And that would be a kill. So when I play, I'd put a kill down for Jerry Darnell. Since this is for our All-Star season, I'm not going to do it. Like I said, when we get 5 kills, we move the driver grade up. But that's just a house rule. It's not a rule for the game itself. So Warp Hormone is out. So you just take the car, you put it on top of the card, and Warp is done like dinner. I would take my score sheet, and I'd write down eliminated. So 0 points for Boschers, only 1 point for Warp Hormone. He is out of this race, and he was killed by Jerry Darnell. So I put down Jerry Darnell as the person that got the kill. And that's just how we keep track of the points and the standings and everything else. Put that off to the side. And next up is Joe Dirte. He's the dirtbag. Dirtbag Joe Dirte, 26. He cannot use his gear because he's got 2 chips on number 2. If he gets 1 more, he's done. You can only have 3 on 1. He's rolled a 2, so he can't use the card. So he's going to do 0 this time. Next up, Big Bertha Meat Patty. She rolls a 22. And if we take a look at her car, Bertha, who's from Knockham Stiff, Ohio, cannot use it because she has a gear out. Joe Dirte is from Vulcan, Alberta. Peggy Joe Socks is from Yak, British Columbia. These are actually real places. Next up is Jeremy Taylor. He's the top driver after 2 races so far. He won the last one. A 31 for Jeremy Taylor is going to be an X to the guy with the most. So Jeremy Taylor is going to deliver an X. It can either go to Niederkorn or Stephanie. Since Stephanie got me before, I'm going to go after her. And I put it there. Next up is John Niederkorn, nickname Foot Fungus. So Foot Fungus is going to roll 26. It is going to be a car result, and he's got 2 damage on his car already. So when you go to the car chart, you're taking a look at how much damage he has. He's got 2 damage. Roll the dice. It is a 2. It is going to be an X. He's going to deliver an X. And we'll just go to Saturday. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's going to go to Jeremy Taylor. He's getting the X. And we're going on to Danny McCaig, who had no damage last time. That's why his car is upside down. So we'll flip him over. He's ready to go. You can see that no damage could be so powerful because last guy in the row, he can't take any damage until you flip him over. We have a 26 on Danny McCaig, which is going to be a car result. And he has no damage. So we're going to roll, and we roll a 4. That is 1X. We're just going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Actually, he wouldn't go to his own guy. He'd go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He's going to give it to Stephanie with that big X. And we're going to Psycho Tony Rualis is coming up next. Here comes the Psycho Man, 65. Take a look at why he's called the Psycho. His bonus is Kamikaze Double Kill. This car and choice opponent. So whenever Adam has him up to 5 things, he will pick somebody in the row and he'll do a double kill. And when he does, he also gets a K. So after 5 of those, he's going to move up. That's why he's a B. So we rolled, what did I say, a skid? So 65 is a skid, and he is a B driver. So a B driver, 5 is an O. So he's going to take an O. That goes to your own car. So he hit somebody, nothing happened, and he takes damage. Next up is Tam Tam Barton, Stephanie's car right here. Tam Tam's going to roll. She rolls a 61. Tam Tam Barton 61 is pretty good. It's an X. It's a pop gun on her gear. An X and O, and she is going to take an internal. A question mark is internal to her. To guy with the most. So there's a tie between Psycho and Bobby Baldwin. Now, since Bobby Baldwin is her car, she's not going to give it to them. So she'll go X here, O for the O internal, and she will take an internal. So Tammy Barton is going to take a 2 on the internal. So put that on her card. Again, you just put it right on the card. And we go on to the next car that had no damage. We're going to flip it over. And it's going to be Michael Lou Rawls. So Michael Lou Rawls is coming up. It's a 66. That is most likely going to be, yes it is. It is going to be a car result for Michael Rawls. So he has no damage. And we roll a 4. So let's see here. No damage. 4 is 1X. And we're just going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. See where it goes. Rolls a 2. So it's going to go up to Tony Psycho Morales. Last one is Bobby Baldwin. Bobby Baldwin is going to roll a 15. That is going to be a skid result. Let me just double check. Bobby Baldwin. Yes, it is. So 1-5 is going to be a skid result. We're just going to roll on the skid. She's an A driver. So I'm just going to roll, and I rolled a 6. And when you go to a 6, we're going to the unusual results chart. And this is the highlight for all of us. When you go to the unusual results chart, this is when my family starts to scream and shout. It's number 15 on the chart. Catch on fire, catch on fire. So everyone will start chatting catch on fire. Bobby Baldwin, here we go, 66. This is the best part of the game, is going to this unusual results chart. There's so many fun and cool things that happen. We got a 43, and it is a transmission failure. Lose moves 3, 4, 5, and 6. So awful move for Bobby Baldwin. She's going to lose 3, 4, 5, and 6. So her car is severely disabled after going to the unusual results chart. And that is the end of round 2. So I would take these cards, I would reshuffle, and we just keep right on going. And you're going to keep playing until you run out of cars. So when I'm done, I just shuffle and make sure the no cards don't get flipped over. And I just spread them out. And they come out randomly. And we got 4, 4, 3, 3. Yeah, that'll work. And again, the no damage is going to flip. It's over to Donna Moats. That's where we're going to start. So that is how you play Demolition Derby. As I said, this is our family version. This is our all-stars. We have Big Buck Seaman homemade card from Ding Dong, Texas, an actual spot. And you would just keep playing until you only have one guy left. The other one we haven't really seen yet that comes out, you could get an engine light. If you ever get an engine light on a car, before you start, you roll a die, and if a 1 or a 6 comes up, he's out of the race. So John would have rolled a 2, so he can keep going. Next time around, once we reshuffle the cards, his next turn, we'd roll again. Rolls a 2, he's still in it. But that's when the engine light does. And again, you have many different things you can use for strategy cards. We play everybody gets 3. And yeah, this is just a super fun game. This is Demolition Derby from Plaay Games. Hope you enjoyed it, everyone.